bigger than life, cannot be missed, top talent, Victor Wembanyama, like you've never seen before.
Like he's going to be a generational talent.
I've never seen this before.
The singular greatest prospect in NBA draft history.
There's no one that does it quite like him. This is the full Victor Wembanyama experience. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's start with some housekeeping rules. I know I haven't uploaded in 40 days, right? And all of a sudden you get this Rudy Gobert video that's an hour long, and I just really appreciate the support on the video, right? It was tough transitioning, okay? People have noticed that I can't say the number 3 properly. I'm trying to learn. I'm in the process. I know I say fur team, I say thunder. I get it. And for those that found the accent to be annoying, I apologize, okay? I was trolling a lot during the video. Look, man, it was one of those videos I just want to have fun with. This comment sort of encapsulates my style, right? I do be freestyling these vids sometimes. I do be doing that. And I think, in a way, that's the beauty of these videos, but also, I do want to provide you with some actual content, right? This is Victor at 10 years old, 6'4", by the way. Like, this moment right here encapsulates just how crazy tall Wemby was, even at 10 years old, bro. Oh, what a move. And at 14 years old, this dude, he's reached 7 foot. Being 7 foot at that age is just insane, man. It's just, like, how can you stop this, bro? This motherfucker is playing lockdown defense and can stretch the floor. Motherfucker, it don't matter how good of a passer you are. You just throw that shit in space. And him stretching the floor is the scariest part. I'm not gonna lie to you. Playing in the FIBA U19 World Cup, and he's 15 years old at 7'2". It's just unbelievable, man. And now he's 16 and he's 7'3", playing for his hometown French team in Europe. Oh boy. Unfortunately, France didn't come away with the championship in the World Cup in 2019. As you can see, that's Cadenham.
That's Cadenham? Oh yeah, that team. Yeah, that team was tough. That team was tough.
And Wemby, you could see him here playing against Rudy Gobert at 16 years old. And I'll just say it, man. He looks interesting here. Look at this move. Shooting it, making that shot. And at 16, you know, this is Rudy Gobert. I get it, but look at how scary it is to play against Wemby on the offensive end.
The kid in Europe right now, Victor Wembanyama, who's maybe the best prospect in the world. So he's like 7'3", with, I don't know, like almost an 8-foot wingspan. And he blocks shots like Rudy Gobert, and he shoots like Porzingis. And he can handle and pass. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, this is what Mike Schmidt from ESPN said on Brian Windhorst's podcast. He said here that Wembanyama apparently has an 8-foot wingspan, shoots like Porzingis, and blocks shots like Rudy Gobert. This is some scary ass stuff, bro. Like, apparently Mike Schmidt was watching this dude when he was 13 years old. He was that enthralled with Wemby's game. By the way, you guys can listen to the full podcast on ESPN.com here. And when speaking with Le Parisien, Victor made it very clear that his goal was to go to the NBA. And he seemed to be ambitious about it. He said here, I don't want to simply supplement a team. I don't like having someone above me. I don't want to prove something, but I also don't want to disappoint myself. I think this mentality here is really something that stood out when it came to Victor Wembanyama. You know, not to mention the fact that he's 7'3" at 16 years old, right? And the one thing I just cannot stop looking at is his shooting, man. How is this dude 7'3" and is able to shoot the ball almost like he's a guard? Like, this is insane. And back in, you know, late 2020, he was being compared to another big guy from overseas, right? And this would be Kai Soto from the Philippines, right? They would look at those two and saying, this is the next generation of centers in the NBA. And now he's 17, back in the U19. What a pass. And look at this man go right here. What a dribble move into a layup. Dunks it back in. I'm not gonna lie here, bro. What can you do to stop this kid, bro? Like, he's just so much better than everybody else. And this is against 7-1 prospect Chet Holmgren. Wow. And even though the US won this game, right, Wemby still outplayed Chet in this U19 in 2021. But it was once again the Americans that would hold the trophy for the U19 tournament for the second straight event. Now, Wemby was one of 5 people chosen for obviously getting the U19 player of the team tournament. And I know you can recognize some of these players. Yep, that's my guy Zach Edey on the left. Wemby's in the middle and Chet's on the right side. But you got Jovic and Jaden Ivey. What an insane list of players right here. And in 2021, you know, you had Victor playing for Tony Parker's team that he owned in France as well.
Is the next logical step after leaving my home club, you know, at Nanterre, where I spent 7 years. In Lyon, I can play the EuroLeague, so it's the second best league in the world. So.
And during that season, in the games Wemby played, the team went 12-4, averaged a measly 9 points, 5 rebounds, but only played 16 plus minutes a game.
I think it's these 2 years I'm supposed to spend here are gonna launch me to the top.
Victor also talked in his interview how, you know, he tries to emulate his game after guys like Giannis with his strengths and Kevin Durant with his skills. His move to Asvel was meant for him to basically put himself in a bigger stage, trying to level himself up as a young, you know, 16, 17-year-old. And back in his home club, he did play in the Division 1 French League, but he was mostly spending his time playing under 21 French League games.
Est-ce qu'on... Attends. On dirait que je l'attrape là?
Descends un peu. Ouais.
C'est original ça, non?
Oh, that's a big tip, Wemby, isn't it? Oh, this is big, boys. What a tip here by Wembanyama! And specifically what Wemby said was that he sees himself having a game like a Giannis, right? Plus also having Kevin Durant's game on offense too. And you got the Rudy Gobert DPOY level defense as well. And I'd say if this sort of player comes that Wemby chose for himself at 18, yeah, I got full confidence that this dude, the sky's the limit for him, bro. Fuck the sky, even fuck the moon. He going to the sun. He is the star that is basically grabbing all the planets and making them orbit around him. He is, quote unquote, the sun.
We are courtside with 18-year-old Victor Wembanyama, who, according to many, including our own Jonathan Gavoni, have him listed as the potential #1 draft pick in the 2023 NBA draft.
And this was during a game in Paris where, you know, you had Bronny James playing in this game too. And there were coming a potential rivalry here with Scoot Henderson, a rising 17-year-old. He was playing for the G League Ignite team, right? Had to have his parents sign the papers. He's now looking like a top prospect in the 2023 draft. Now, at this point, Wemby's so tall, he has to duck under the airport security system. Dude, I don't think you understand how tall those things are, bro. This is insane. And you had Scoot duking it out against Victor's club in France. Oh, what a move over Victor.
So far from what we've seen, Sissoko denied. Mika gets back to Henderson, finishes over Wembanyama.
Well, when you think about Scoot, he's not going to shy away from attacking the basket. Does a great job getting to Las Vegas home.
Wembanyama for three.
Come on.
Wee.
That's not fair. I like this matchup.
Scoot Henderson, one-on-one. Yeah.
Surgery, you know, they were looking at me like it's going to be okay, and I was terrified. And those are the happiest kid body who needs help.
Sharif, if anyone could be a spoiled brat.
Giannis calling for it on the block against Abakiri. Turns, faces, hanging. Henderson a deep two.
These two guys have gone step to step against each other.
Wembanyama calmly knocks down a three with the blow by. Oh! It's here.
Well, I was wondering when Scoot was going to try Victor, and he does on this possession, but that is advantage Victor.
Wingspan rising up, rattles in another three. Plenty of time, 9 on the shot clock, blocked by Wembanyama. Waters finds the big man, calmly knocks down another.
And these two, alongside, you know, other players, these were the top prospects for the 2023 draft here. And this match right here, the first set of 2 matches, was just an exciting matchup here. Now, even though Wemby's team ended up losing, Wemby did end up outplaying Scoot substantially. Actually, maybe not substantially. Okay, that was overselling it. Wemby and Scoot both played amazing. These are amazing stats for both players. And I'm not gonna lie, even though Wemby was the star of the show, Scoot was not far off. And even in the moment where it looked like Wemby was gonna get hurt, he still was able to get up right away from this. Now, Scoot, he did get hurt in the second game, right? And even though Scoot didn't play the second game, Wemby ended up still showing out. And ESPN were talking about all things Wemby.
Zachary said that he is the best prospect we've seen since LeBron James. If LeBron James, at that exact moment, showed up, Victor would go higher than him.
You have dudes like Giannis saying that Victor has a chance to be one of the best players we've ever seen, even at his age of 18. And even KD was gushing over how crazy of a talent Wemby already is. Like, this guy, I'm not gonna lie, it's over for the league, man. It's over for the league if he pans out like this. And he has such a calm demeanor for a player that's only 18 years old and that knows the burden of expectations that are going to be levied at him already so young, and he's able to carry that with such a great demeanor.
I gotta play my part in doing what's best for the team, because I mean, I talked to my teammates at half. I was like, I just don't want to lose, and like it happened, but like I hate losing, and yeah, so that we had to adjust for sure, collectively.
This was, of course, the first time Victor had played in a game that was 48 minutes long, so it was definitely a mental hurdle for him, not just him, the whole team as a whole, right?
Starting to get into basketball, Victor, who were some of the guys that you were watching on YouTube and you were like really just starting to grow to love the game?
Actually, I've been playing this way for years, like even when I was like 9, 10, 11, 15 years old, I've always been playing, like shooting threes, handling the ball.
And Vic, he said something interesting about, the coordination he has and how he was able to play that way.
When I talk to NBA scouts and executives, the thing that they say stands out about you the most is for a guy your size, at your age, you're so coordinated and you're so fluid and your stroke looks so smooth. How did you develop that when you were growing up?
So for the coordination, I'd say it's because I was, most bigs, especially my age, they grew up so fast. Like they had a huge growth spurt, getting multiple inches a year. But I didn't have this. I was really tall from this jump. That's it. I guess my body has had time to adjust to himself. I think that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, it helps when you're 6'4" and you're 11 years old, right? He's been that tall for his whole life, basically. And obviously, he does have players he looks up to, but he tries to basically, be somebody that, nobody has ever seen before.
I didn't look up to players for me to do that, but I inspired myself in doing whatever I wanted to do.
You have a favorite player or players that you watch and say, I want to be like that, or I want to add some of the stuff to my game?
So I want to be like no one else, but the players I look up the most to are Giannis and KD.
And of course, Giannis and KD are already players that, we rarely see in this league. Wemby is just an even crazier version of that. Even Giannis, who had some interesting things to say about Wemby.
I want to ask you a question about Wembanyama, the young
Victor,
player
yes.
from France.
Yeah, Victor.
What do you think about him?
Get ready, my friend. How long you want to play? My friend, you will be in the league when this kid comes. You have to get ready, eh? Because if you're not ready, this kid's going to be...
He's a problem, huh?
Problem.
You saw him like he's a...
When I say, problem, a big problem. I've never seen this before in my life.
It's crazy.
I saw him up close. He was in the same team with my brother.
Okay.
He's taller than Rudy Gobert. He can block shot like Rudy, but shoot like KD. Bro, crazy. He has a good attitude.
Good attitude, huh?
And obviously, as soon as that G League Unite game with Wemby started, that's when his name picked up in the news, and there was so much interest around Wemby around this time.
Greeny, Victor Wembanyama is the singular greatest prospect in NBA draft history.
When I say Wemby, what comes to your mind?
Dude, the greatest prospect we have ever seen.
Yes.
Ever.
I had one guy say, am I allowed to say this is the greatest player I've ever seen as far as a prospect? Not saying he's better than Jordan. It'd be a little early for the Jordan Wembanyama takes.
I had one guy tell me that the only way he's not the number one pick is if a team does research and find out that he murdered someone.
Blocking shots, mid-range, post-ups. Jalen, I think this is the best prospect I've ever seen since LeBron James.
I gotta tell you a secret, Jacoby. I'm in love.
Let's just say the media was in love. They were convinced this guy was the best thing since sliced bread. Not just that, but I know you guys noticed he's wearing a different jersey. He seems to be on a different team than the Asvel team that we talked about earlier. While Victor, after joining Tony Parker's team, then went on to play for a team called Métropolitain 92, basically being a team from Boulogne-le-Valois, which is somewhere in France. I can't tell you where that is, okay? And this dude went on to average 21.6 points, 10 plus rebounds, and 2 blocks. Oh, wait, sorry. This is assists per game. How many blocks did this guy average in this series? He actually ended up averaging 3 blocks a game during the season. 20, 10, and 3 in a season where he's playing against grown European competition, right? He's 19, 18 years old playing these games. Wow.
Dijon is locked in to start.
McDuffie will test Wembanyama, who blocks the shot for Justin James. He pops out, has a good look at a 3. Wembanyama again, he's feeling it from downtown. That's 3 straight. Look at this again.
And Wemby, he was making waves in France as well, dunking this basket. And right here, look at this beautiful block.
Victor went bananas!
And thus, a new flight nickname was born. This is just insanity. Now, you had people like Stephen A. who were getting a bit worried.
What are the expressions you're giving us there, Mr. Stephen A?
When I think about this kid right here, he seems to me to be a poor man's taller version of the great Kevin Durant. He's got ball handling skills. He's got a J. He's got a perimeter game. He can get to the hole. He has those skills, but he's rail thin. And then that makes me think of Greg Oden. It makes me think of Sam Bowie. It makes me think of Chet Holmgren, the number 2 overall pick in this past June draft that ain't even playing this year because he's out injured.
And despite those injury concerns that are very real, you had, draft experts saying that, this is still somebody you should pick at number 1. And mind you, the numbers he was putting up in the French league, right? This is with less space on the floor, okay? Obviously a smaller court. Not just that, it's also a very physical game, the European game, right? Where you really have to take advantage of, being in the post and being, a great defender from the post. In the NBA, there's so much more space, right? So much so that, it makes the court look bigger than it actually is.
Everybody wants this kid, and he look like he's great, but you really can't tell until you get to the NBA. Well,
and I get where people like Chuck are coming from, right? We never really know until this guy goes into the NBA.
I find the lottery interesting because it's, first of all, you got a sure thing in Victor Wembanyama. Like he's going to be a generational talent, or at least we think he's going to be.
And of course, the teams with the biggest odds to land Victor Wembanyama with the number 1 pick, Pistons, Rockets, and Spurs.
Is he the best prospect ever? Of course, everyone's going to say that now, but let's not forget how big of a prospect LeBron James was. LeBron James was a phenom from 15 years old. LeBron James was the number 1 pick as a 15-year-old. I can't quite say Victor Wembanyama was number 1 pick as a 15-year-old.
That's such a head-ass argument, man, because Wemby is not American, so he doesn't get the benefit of the American media hyping him up from the time he's 15. And you have Damian Lillard, tweeting this during the lottery, talking about how he was in 7th grade when they were hyping up LeBron James. And he was basically responding, in the same vein as Draymond to Woj saying, Wemby is the greatest prospect in history, right? He doesn't seem to think that people should, jump to that conclusion yet.
But I say this all the time. We forget that just how good, because Skip, there was no social media. We only got LeBron through print.
Trust me, if we had Wemby in print with the size and the way he was playing, he'd be way more talked about than LeBron James. In the U.S., that is, right? Not in France, obviously.
You've played, right, in all 47 of your 47 games this season since September. You already have 5 more regular season games, and then you have the playoffs. No, by the way, you just entered the NBA draft, so you have a whole lot on your plate.
And this obviously gave a great sign of relief to the people that had injury concerns. Him being able to play every game, right? He wasn't going to miss games due to injuries as much, right? And obviously, we all know how great Wemby is as a player, that him playing every game is just as important as him, being great on the court, because the best ability is availability. By the way, for the Metropolitan 92, he had the 4th best record as a team, made it to the finals, played against Monaco, who essentially is a super team, so they didn't win. But I'll tell you at the end of this video why that's such an important piece to how great Wemby is.
The 14th pick in the 20...
Lottery time, boys. And it came down to the Spurs and Charlotte Hornets. And it would be the Spurs who would end up with the number 1 pick. Oh, boy.
The league's really in trouble when he comes in.
He's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien. He's for sure a generational talent.
If it wasn't clear, this was the Victor Wembanyama draft. And there's no surprises here. Number 1 pick, 7'5" center Wembanyama. This guy is insane.
What size shoe does he wear?
Like 21 and a half or something like that.
21 and a half, though.
I don't even know they made halves of that.
It's like you're just gonna get.
I'm trying to see under this freaking chair. Okay, where are his feet at? I want to see how huge they are.
Do you feel pressure around that notion?
No, I don't feel any like pressure on my shoulders or what. And I think the reason is because I try to live free. I'm trying to be like a free mind at all times.
I really like Wemby's perspective on life, man. It's so interesting.
When I need motivation, when I need energy, and I feel tired out, when I need a fight on the court, and it's hard, I always remember I'm free in that universe. I do whatever I can, and I know what I want to do, and nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. And I always got that in mind. And it doesn't just stop to basketball. It's about life.
Fuck, man. Jason.
Well said.
Chases. He's reached enlightenment.
It's almost like a cheat code, man. Not just to have the physique, the size, but also to have the maturity, that demeanor that he does.
Dude, he's what, 7'4", probably like about 205, 210. I think it's going to be tough on him a little bit, man, with him being so thin. If you look at a majority of the centers in the league today, they're not thin.
Now, obviously, he's not trying to say that he'll fail, but he's just, pointing out the concerns he has. You even had, Brian Stutterer, right? You see him do a bunch of videos on, certain injuries in the NBA. He pointed out some concerns he has about Wemby, his, obviously his length and the scary potential for injury that he has, of course, with his unique attributes.
The most optimistic thing for me, though, about Wemby's game and just injury risk is how safe he tends to play. Right now, I would say Ja Morant is at more risk of getting hurt than Victor Wembanyama when he comes into the league, which might sound wild when we look at how just tall and abnormal Wembanyama looks, but I think about the style of play.
And I think what he's pointing to is like the aggressive nature that Ja plays with, right? Wemby doesn't play nearly as aggressive. And not just that, there are things that Wemby does with his body, right? And his flexibility overall. He tries to prevent himself from getting hurt merely by doing simple things that obviously he has people around him helping out with. But he's technically now in the NBA, and now we're going to really get into the meat and potatoes, baby. Hey.
I think so much from just my arrival, It was really fun moment, and this is what it's about, This makes me happy.
What are your emotions right now?
Can't really describe them, It's just my heart's beating. I got everyone I love, everyone I know around me. It's a really special moment I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
And yet again, Wembanyama is driven, and he apparently wants to win the ring ASAP.
Team player. I'm gonna make everything to win as many games as I can, and I'm trying to win the ring ASAP. So be ready.
And Wemby's just here working out. He's trying to give the fans a show. It's a bit awkward. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Mix the first shot, right?
Ouais, mais là, moi, Victor Wembanyama est sous mes yeux, mais.
So the Spurs organization, along with the icons of the franchise, they organized a whole dinner for Wemby, right? And oh boy, look at the legendary status of some of these players. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Manu, Sean Elliott, obviously on the left. I wonder why Tony Parker wasn't there, right? He might be cheating on somebody again.
Reflect on, or tell us a little about your dinner with David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili last night.
Yeah, probably one of the best, in probably a couple hours, I learned more about the NBA than in my whole life before, and it's such comforting to see that these people who are so important to the city of San Antonio and to the franchise are such kind people and generous, because they genuinely wanted to share with me their experience. And I feel like they've already started to take great care of me, and it's just so comforting.
Now we got Podcast P, and right here he was talking about Victor Wembanyama, right?
How would you guard him? Because I tell people, like, he's elite, hell of a talent, but some of the shit that I've seen, we're not letting him do that in the NBA.
But you're not just dribbling it through me like the Harlem.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And Victor, All that was left at this point was to get ready for the Summer League and show the NBA world what he was made of.
All of it's been great. Great for him, great for us, and we'll learn every step of the way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Wemby getting dunked on like this by Kai Jones, yikes. It's one of those things, right? Everybody's going to criticize you regardless of what you do, right? Everybody is in Las Vegas to watch you play. You were the center of attention, so to speak. Now, defensively, Wemby still showed how generational he is, right? I mean, just look here as Wemby, it manages to come in, closes him out, and look at that contest. Oh my goodness. But it was on the offensive end where things just didn't look as crisp. What people were talking about was the shot not falling, right? And Wemby ended the game with 9 points on 2 of 13 shooting. He did have 5 blocks, right? Like I said, the defensive potential was there.
You know, honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing on the court tonight, but it's you know, I'm trying to learn for the next games, and the importance is to be ready for the season.
Not gonna lie, it takes a lot for somebody to say something like this after such a poor performance. And it really does show Victor, he takes it all as a learning process. And it's really speaks to his maturity. This early in his career, he showed us that, you know, even him failing, he was still gonna look at it as a learning experience. He's gonna be as honest as he can be, and he's not gonna beat himself up about it. Yeah, sure, he struggled against Kai Jones defending him, right? He even struggled when Brandon Miller was there, and it's one of those things you're like, okay, yeah, Wemby's going to have to do a lot of things to work on his game. The Britney Spears situations just did not make sense to me. I'm not going to lie to you. This was being talked about on NBC News. Bro, this shit was nuts. And apparently what it was that she was trying to go up to Wemby and the security guard hit her. And it's like, okay, yeah, the security guard maybe shouldn't have been as aggressive, but like he was trying to basically, you know, protect his client, right? You also have Britney Spears grabbing Wemby, right? She's trying to grab him. Like, what are you doing?
So yeah, there was something did happen a little bit when I was walking with some security of the team to some restaurant. We were in a hall. There was a lot of people, so people calling me, obviously. And there was one person who was calling me, but we talked before with the security. Don't stop because it's gonna make a crowd. So I couldn't stop. So that person was calling me, sir, and that person grabbed me from behind. So I didn't see what happened because I was walking straight and we told don't stop. But that person grabbed me from behind, not on my shoulder. She grabbed me from behind, and so I just know that the security pushed her away. I don't know with how much force though, but security pushed her away, and I didn't stop to look, so I kept walking and enjoyed a nice dinner.
She's talking about, I have yet to get a public apology from the player, his security, or the organization. Bro, stop this crap. And this was the first time I realized this girl had fans, still to this day, and bro, they were going crazy on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie to you. What the fuck is this? I'm gonna be honest with you, this is scary. Like, I don't know what I'm watching right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Around this time, there were some weird videos, bro, of her dancing, and I was like, yo, is this her? Is this really her, bro? Yo, stop. Oh my gosh, bro. Can you stop? Look at the poor doggy, man. He's petrified, dog. In this game, though, the second game in the Summer League, Wemby was actually good.
Defensive end with this team, or at least build an identity that way. Wembanyama missing, got it back, and one.
Really aren't like this.
Well, you talked in transition about the strides he takes and the ground he covers.
Wembanyama on the wing, goes through the legs.
It'll be a hard thing to challenge, right? Between the legs, that handle and fluidity.
Little midi comes off. Wemby, okay. Walker. Wemby staring him down, and he forces the air ball. So there's the defensive impact. Nice rim run, and the punch.
Starting to feel his presence, and they're playing him in such short bursts.
Wemby for three, butter.
Victor in this game ended up with 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And to see his shot falling was just one of the best parts.
Have you noticed the difference between the league you were playing in and the style of play here?
You know, it's, first of all, the court is more open. It's going fast, but it's less physical, and I get fouled a lot, but not as much. Nothing to compare. And yeah.
And people are going to take this as Wemby saying, oh, the NBA is easier to play. Nope, nope. He's just trying to say that the game is different because of how much more space there is, right? How much more shooting, right? Physically, it's not as intensive, right? That's all he's saying. It's just a different game. And Victor, it was obvious, right? He liked the basketball aspect. He liked people, praising him and saying, oh, you're the #1 pick. We want to see you do well. But he said it himself. I think basketball wasn't even 50% of my schedule. I can't stand it. He knows it's a special moment, but he said, I'm glad it's over. I just want to hoop, right?
Just know we got, as I'm not playing in the World Cup, we got 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 great months going that are coming, and they're gonna change my life. I'm probably gonna disappear from the media for the next months, honestly.
And honestly, I don't know if this is the right move, right, for a guy that's gaining momentum as a star player. But that's the move he decided to make, and it might have helped.
Goes to the Houston Rockets.
This dude Wemby is hilarious, bro. I celebrated too.
That's it.
Who's that?
Oh, shit. Oh.
This was one of the few times we saw Wemby during this whole 2-month break. This is the sort of stuff that Wemby does, right? He's very flexible, but this is to prevent injuries, right?
Howdy, y'all. This is Wemby. We're in San Antonio now.
Mr. Wemby is just enjoying his time in San Antonio. Speaking of Wemby.
Wemby Dada, more like Wemby Dada. I know that D isn't the only thing in defense now.
I just had to show this video because I remember this shit, bro, last season. This was way too funny, bro. Wemby Dada, more like Wemby Dada. Like, bro, that shit's hilarious.
I heard you earlier talk about how you kind of are in way better shape already than you've been in how long? The last 2 or 3 years?
I mean ever, because actually I've never had a summer like this that I could spend working on myself.
Yeah, Wemby would usually play during the summers for the national team, right? So he had those things to do during the summers, and now he had a full off season, 2 months plus, to really work on his game. Yeah, a week before the draft, Wemby was actually playing in the finals in the LNB Pro A playoffs. Now, even though they're leading here, they didn't end up winning this game. Now, Wemby, he did have a game-high 22 points in this game, right? Even though, they didn't end up winning, 7 rebounds.
I'm still learning to do some things defensively, defending the pin downs, for example, and I'm really learning a lot, and I'm trying to expand my my tools on defense too.
Yeah, during this preseason, Wemby was showing a lot of interesting stuff here.
A double, that's an interception deflection. Sohan. Wembanyama!
I mean, just look at this defense here. Blocks him right there.
Power forward to center. Look at this! Look at this! Got the screen from Osman. Oh, with a nice little dribble right there. Shaking. Here's Bassey with Vassell. Rocketing down the lane. Handing to Wembanyama!
This man was on a generational run, bro. This is just crazy.
Wembanyama also produced an unlikely behind-the-basket baseline dish for an open corner 3, and he nutmegged Reggie Bullock off the dribble, middle of the court.
It's just scary, some of the things you've seen from Wemby. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't have much words to describe some of the highlights we've seen from him. And this was just a preseason.
I think his time playing in Summer League, he blocked Klay Thompson. He just blocked his second 3 of the night. And then Dunleavy in the second quarter, about the Warrior offseason, building his team. And again, everything he could at Wembanyama, couldn't shake him. And then he lasers the 3.
In this same game, by the way, you can't make this shit up. Curry versus Wemby jump ball. What is his timeline? And of course, let's see who wins this. Obviously, Wemby. What are we doing?
Wembanyama and some of the others. More good things are ahead. There's the block by Victor. First exposure to top really getting on you as Victor gets the and one.
This was technically the first time Wemby and Chet played each other. And just look at this ferocious slam.
Back out to Victor. 6 on the shot clock. He motors in the lane. Scoop shot. Oh, my.
Also, this is the first time they play each other in the NBA court. They play each other, obviously, in international games. You guys want to see some perimeter defense from Wemby? Bang, bang. Got your cookies. Look at this. Steal, dribbles it. Lob it up. Oh, he missed it. Go. Is this nigga serious, bro? Like, look at this. Easy lob, and he just can't catch and handle it. Okay, I got to... Who is this guy? Number 14. Oh, it's Blake Wesley. Oh, boy. Blake. I see why this dude play less than 15 minutes now, man. He's not good. On another note, by the way, Wemby needs to have better teammates if he's gonna go as far as a Tim Duncan or a Duncan Robinson, bro. Did I say Duncan Robinson? My apologies, Spurs Nation. This is Tim Duncan on the left and David Robinson, not Duncan. Oh my, I can't believe I made that mistake. And Wemby's stats, crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He didn't average 20 points a game, but he played just over 20 minutes a game, averaging less than 20, just under. His per 36 stats are nuts too. 33.4 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. This guy Wemby is he's already breaking basketball. Shout out Wilson Trill. Now Wemby, he did make his NBA debut versus Dallas, making his first bucket of this career right there.
Rebound Jones. Chance for San Antonio. Wemby, the deep catch, the turn, and the flush. Plus the foul.
Despite the big shots that he was hitting in the clutch moments, they didn't win this game. There's a chance, and Wemby only scored 15 points in this game. Not just that, but he had 1 block, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Yeah, this is not that crazy of a debut. This was not an impressive debut compared to like a lot of other players. Paul George retracted his statements because, oh boy, was he foolish to say what he said. It was Draymond egging him on, I get it, but man, Paul George, come on, bro. Because this dude was a star, man. He's not just a star. He was and is a star, bro. This is star boy right here, Wembanyama.
But I'm really looking forward to watching this young man play. I think the best thing he got going for him, I think a lot of players with high expectation get ruined because they got crap coaches. This dude got one of the best to ever do it in Coach Popovich. I think that's the best thing he got going for him.
By the way, Kyrie was preparing to play Wemby with, I think that's Shamgar defending him with crazy ass. Yo, this is insane. This is how you know Wemby's special, man. These are NBA players having to use props to basically simulate what it would be like to play against somebody as insane as Wemby. He's such an alien, man.
And cannot. Rockets advantage. Smith. Oh my! Blocked by Wemby. Blocked again by Wemby. Get it out of here.
Unreal highlight reel. Blocks Jabari Smith right here. And then blocks him again.
Wembanyama on the drive. He scores!
Now the game would end up going to overtime with Jabari missing the shot here and Wemby securing the board.
122. Spurs win in overtime.
Wemby now getting his first win in his NBA career. Beautiful. Spooky, scary Slenderman is here to play basketball. 2013 me would be spooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd piss my pants just seeing this photo.
I want to go at Reggie a little bit. He talks about he's never seen a guy like Wembanyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bobo.
You think? Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Like we outlined in the Rudy Gobert video, man, Shaq is a big old hater. And best of all, on the same day Shaq said this, Wemby would show himself out against the Suns team that actually featured Bobo.
Presented by Pizza Hut, and on the first day. But again, look at Victor on that right wing. And Wembanyama running the floor. The highest on the screen you've drawn on the telestrator in your career. 3% from downtown. Look at this mismatch. Victor, and gets the guy. Wembanyama, Trey Jones pushing. Back to Victor. Look out, lift off, and detonation for Wembanyama.
And Malachi tries to get back to Grayson Allen.
Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama step into a 3. Victor Wembanyama. It's a switch with Grayson Allen.
Throw it up to him.
Malachi back to Victor for 2 more. He's 6 for Wemby. And they get beat down at the other end of the floor. Again. Oh, there he is. And there it is up top, Victor.
They're comparing his numbers to, ironically, Shaq in his first 5 games for his career. Blocks and points. Pretty impressive stuff.
On the road, he is the first player to average at least 20 points and 2 blocks through his first 5 career games since Shaquille O'Neal in 1992. All right.
And in this game against my Raptors, yeah, he decimated us in the first half. OG right here wants to test Wemby out. Wemby says, get that garbage out of here. And I'm not quite sure what OG was thinking here. This was a great watch. Wemby, look at this block right here. And on offense, look at Jakob Poeltl having to close out, but he's too late.
4-0, led by 4 after 1. Blew him out in the second, and Victor Wembanyama with another rejection.
OG's hand is basically at the release point. This is so scary, man. And Wemby's foot is just outside the paint. Okay, and look at this. Slow motion right here. Blocks that shot, man. Quite honestly, one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, bro. And it was like one of those things where Scotty Barnes right here obviously misses and then goes back, gets blocked. And then this is a 7-4 dude giving us a free throw line floater, bro. I'm done. At this point, it's a 3-point game. It's OT. And he just... What the hell? How you guard that? This time, Raptors got OG on him. Oh, boy. Let's see how he guards him. Doesn't matter. He even has 2 guys contesting that shot. I know in this game, the Raptors were down big, right? And they cut it to 3 points late in the fourth. That's how they got to OT, right? With this gorgeous Scotty Barnes step back 3-point. Oh, my gosh. Scotty willed the team to a win with 30, 11, and 6 in this game. But Wemby had an absurd stat line of 20 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks, 4 assists. I forgot to also mention this guy put up a 3-pointer and 1 with OG fouling him. It truly is Wemby's world, and we're all just living in it.
I think it's incredible class, but the Thompson twins, like, I don't know, man. I feel a way about the Thompson twins and Wemby because those guys are making it much harder for me to continue to make all defensive teams as these young guys come in defending the way they're defending, you know? So
old man realizes he might be out of a job soon. I love it.
You know, I think for some reason, I feel like the moment, this is the first real venue that he's played in that's still.
So Wemby struggled at MSG, and all of a sudden, it's because the venue. There's so much aura, he was overwhelmed. Bro, by the way, this past season, this show has fallen off a cliff, bro. So dead, bro. Only around the Super Bowl is this show peaking, bro. It's so sad. Now, Wemby, he talked about, his first game at MSG, and he said some things that I think are quite interesting for a guy as huge as him. After the game, one thing he noted was that MSG apparently was not as big as he expected. Okay, bro.
27.9 per game. Devin, it's tripped up. Oh, Wembanyama!
This man, look at this block on Rudy Gobert, man. This is a Wolf defense that was #1 in the league, and they couldn't stop this guy, Wemby. Finished this game with 29 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. And the race for Rookie of the Year was picking up fast. Chet Holmgren and Wemby, look at their stats, beautiful. They would both play each other for the first time in the regular season in this in-season tournament game. Oh, what a block. But despite some of the highlights we've seen, this was a fairly disappointing game for both players, right? You got Chet Holmgren, right? I think he only had 9 points in this game. Wemby with only 8. And in order to cure us from this Wembanyama disaster class, we need to see him interact with normal things, normal size table, normal size shirts. This guy is so big. It's funny to watch him interact with life. In general, he's so tall. So Perk here, he wants to distribute some blame pie, right? Why is Wemby struggling, right? And he looks at 25% Wemby, 25% Popovich, and he says 50% of it is because of his teammates. And we'll get more into that later. Despite the struggles, he's still first in points per game as a rookie, second in rebounds, first in blocks, obviously. He's actually close to leading the league in blocks. And the weird thing about Wemby, he's shooting 25% on catch and shoot threes, but get this. He is shooting way better, 35% on 3-point field goals going off the dribble. And I'm not sure when this was, but he said himself, it's easier for him to shoot off the dribble.
So a couple of years back, I was training with Tim Martin, my coach, and I was doing that, and I was doing reps of this, and he was laughing like, it's because it's just funny to see someone practice this, and but it just feels natural to me, and I think when off the dribble, like as an off the dribble move, it's a great move. I believe, because
and I'm sure part of that has to do with how tall he is, right? I mean, standing at 7'4", I'm not surprised that things work differently for this guy.
Jason Tatum often shoots threes with 4 feet of separation. But to get off a normal shot on Wembanyama, he'll need an additional foot of space.
This dude covers more ground just by striding normally than an Olympic sprinter. Even with the struggles, he's bending both offenses and defenses against his will. Here's just more tape of him blocking shots. And I don't know if you can tell who that is posting up on Wemby. This is the kid that was giving Wemby fits during the U19 World Cup. And Wemby now at 19 years old. Man, get that shit out of here. Even when you think he's out of the play, Wemby comes right there and swoops in for the block. He recorded 8 blocks in this game against the Grizzlies. He became the 5th quickest player to reach a set of 8 blocks or more in a game, with 13 games needed to reach that milestone. Not just that, he became the 3rd youngest player in NBA history to reach that milestone. But I don't think Victor cared that much, since they had a lead going into the 4th quarter, and sadly they ended up losing this game in a heartbreak fashion.
I think it's very clear, and I think you guys will agree with me on this. Chet Holmgren is the rookie of the year right now.
The thing about this debate, man, is that, quite frankly, it was never close to begin with, okay? There was a disturbing amount of people that mostly looked at the records of both teams and chalked it up to one guy's playing in a way better team, thus him being the rookie of the year.
Right, you have Chet getting the win, Victor putting up the stats. Who do you have having the edge in this?
Me, 100% Chet Holmgren. And this is the thing, the numbers are obviously in favor of Wemby, but I look at this. If you're the #1 pick and you add to a team, the idea is that you make the team better. They lost 18 games in a row, and I understand that Chet Holmgren has a much better team. Victor doesn't have, but that's not his fault. So to me, when I look at this, and there is a kid that is averaging 17 points and putting up the numbers that Chet Holmgren is, but like these numbers are very, very impressive. But if Chet Holmgren makes 2 mistakes, if Chet Holmgren makes 2 mistakes in the middle of a game, he's sitting down. Wemby can make 8 mistakes in a row, and they're going to play him as 30 minutes because they don't give a damn about winning. So when
what in the flipping flopper is this argument that he's making? By the way, it gets worse.
He can make 8 mistakes in a row, and they're going to play him as 30 minutes because they don't give a damn about winning. So when you look at this, if you would have put Chet Holmgren on the San Antonio Spurs, I guarantee you those numbers would look very similar. He would be averaging 20+ because he would be out there every single game regardless of who wins. So I'm going to give it to the individual that has exponentially more pressure on him every single night to make the right game plan moves, to make.
I can't believe I'm saying these words. I'm with Kendrick Perkins here, bro. I'm just very shocked that Richard Jefferson can say something this dumb.
Right pass to do all of the things perfect, because that's what Chet. They're the #1 team in the Western Conference.
They're the #1 team in the West because of Chet? Question mark. Well, come on, bro. They have Shai Gilgeous. They have a way better roster built around Shai Gilgeous. Chet is a rookie, and his numbers are pretty impressive up to this point. But he is not Victor. And it's pretty obvious to those watching the games at home. It's pretty obvious. And I'm just glad that, we don't have to hear these stupid arguments anymore. Listen here, Malika. If you take RJ's brain and put it in a bird, guess what that bird will do? It'll fly backwards. I just cannot believe we're using team record to base our fucking arguments of Rookie of the Year! Who's the better rookie? One thing that was holding Wemby and the Spurs back, though, is that Greg Popovich, for some reason, thought Jeremy Sohan was going to be the Spurs' lead point guard. I don't know where he had this idea that this Polish man could play point guard, okay? Not to take anything away from the fact that he's Polish, okay? That's not even a bad thing, by the way. I just randomly said that. This dude, Jeremy Sohan, is not a point guard. Popovich should have known this, but I guess he wanted to experiment since this team is already a decaying lottery team, right? So he said, you know what? Fuck the wins. I'm going to experiment. And where did that bring you? Right back to me, says Trey Jones, because, just in case you haven't noticed, they're a way better offensive team with Trey Jones. I know these words are in French, but basically what they're saying is in less minutes played, Trey Jones and Victor Wembanyama on the court, as opposed to Sohan and Wembanyama on the court, produces a much better offensive rating. Basically, points scored per 100 possessions. Oh, okay, you know what? This is basically saying that the Spurs score 23 points more per 100 possessions with Trey Jones and Wemby on the court as opposed to Jeremy Sohan. This is as damning as it is, and I'm glad Popovich, learned from this mistake of experimenting this early and, stopped playing Sohan with Wemby as much and started playing him with Trey Jones more. Thank God. But the damage was already done, and I'm pretty sure this was intentional, They're trying to get, top picks in the lottery, right? And yeah, they ended up losing 18 straight games after winning 3 of their first 5 games. And of course, losing 18 straight, it's not pretty. And yeah, you see that first win in a month and a half. It's against the Los Angeles Lakers. And this game was pretty interesting to watch as well. As you could see, there was no AD on the court, and the Spurs, rightfully so, took advantage.
You mentioned it feeling like a playoff game. Your reaction there at the end, putting the 2 arms up, did it feel like it was just a month and a half worth of release just in that moment?
Yes, it's not like I forgot about that feeling, but and of course I never want to lose again, but it's gonna happen. And we gotta enjoy those moments, because this is what I'm addicted to, winning. This is what I love, and it's what I live for. So I have to show it,
Now, sadly for Wemby, I think a week later, he ended up hurting himself here by stepping on the ball boy's leg here and obviously twisted his ankle. Oh boy. And you can clearly tell how frustrated he was that this happened, obviously. Right, he goes for the layup here, and then obviously the injury happens, and look at his face right here. He just shrugs, man. He's like, come on, bro. Hey, my bad. I just wanted to sing. I'm not gonna lie, it's 4 a.m., bro. I should not be doing this.
Tatum, another 3. One off the back iron, and off Horford into Victor. He's ahead of the pack. He just puts it over Derek White's head, and he throws.
All he can do is laugh. This is comical. This is just absurd. Oh, wow, la Tour Eiffel.
The Spurs are being extremely cautious with Victor Wembanyama as a result of successive ankle sprains, starting with this one against Houston. And I gotta...
Sometimes you can tell I'm improvising because I forgot to mention, this is not the first time that he had, sprained his ankle, so to speak. And again, to make it clear, when he sprained his ankle, stepping on the ball boy's leg, that was the second time it happened, right?
John Morant and Wemby guarding Ja to start the game. Ja puts the crossover on Wemby, and Wemby comes back over the...
You just knew this would be fireworks, man. Ja versus Wemby and the block. And in this game, by the way, Wemby, he made his one-legged free here. What a bounce. What a friendly bounce.
It's a 1 field goal attempt.
Ja again, dunks on Wemby.
And Ja Morant is with his famous crossover move there, and then is able to elevate before Wembanyama can get back in.
There's not much else I can say or even add to this, okay? This is just beautiful. This is art. This is what basketball is all about. I shed a tear watching this yet again.
He's been frustrated recently by a minute's restriction because he's been bothered by a right ankle injury. And
unbeknownst to Ernie Johnson and everybody else at home watching, this would be the day, by the way, would be Wemby's birthday. Happy birthday to... Actually, I can't sing that because it'll get claimed. Wemby, happy birthday. January 4th is beautiful. And as a present, he got to play against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Whoa, the NBA is so kind.
Fake a spin, a Steph inside. Find the 2.
And look at them guard one another.
Trying to poke it away.
Never in my life did I think this was possible. Giannis right here doing a great job pressuring him off dribble, and he has to gather the ball here. From the 3-point line, he goes and does a self-lob. Alley-oop slam. The first step that he took going into that self-lob was behind the 3-point line. Do you know how absurd that is?
Get it. Look at this. He knew he couldn't do a little finger roll, so just throw it off the rim.
Portis got it from Giannis, knocked away by Wembanyama.
But again, this dude's playing Giannis, and Giannis, oh boy, just ramming his way through. Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty scary seeing Giannis just fucking run at you, bro. This is just insane. Oh, and the crimes that Victor committed to Brook Lopez's name, oh boy.
Wembanyama just put in his 10th, 12 for Middleton. Wembanyama, goes back. And puts it down.
This dude goes around the world and just slams that. around the world and just puts that on Brook Lopez's face. Brook, get your ass out of here. Gets the ball here, Brook. Va te faire foutre, Wemby tells him. And one! This dude, Brook, just cannot guard Wemby. And as you can see here, the Spurs are actually giving the Bucks fits here. Oh, no.
Tell you enough. This Milwaukee team has struggled on. And Wembanyama is in the way, and they clear it out. Now they'll step back and take a three.
Mark my freaking words, the Greek freak will be right back where he belongs in 2025 as the top player in the world. This dude, Giannis, he had to go through so much. Despite even winning the championship years ago, he has to do it again to shut you haters up. This nigga Giannis, he got it, and y'all about to see it soon enough. I'm just gonna have to say nothing and let y'all see it for yourselves. I'll let him sit there and marinate.
Guard him. The screen, the drive. Oh, it's knocked away.
And if there's one person that's gonna surpass Giannis, it's gonna be Wembanyama. The only thing keeping me from going insane watching the NBA, man. Giannis and Wembanyama, man. Just two of the best that I've seen. And you know the best player in the East, man. He had to put his stamp on this game. Bang! What a beautiful dunk. The game obviously ended with Wemby to Trey Jones making the right play here, but Trey Jones can't make the three-pointer. And the game would end and the Bucks would win. And yeah, Wemby ignoring Giannis. My two favorite players, and one is ignoring the other. I hate it here, bro. I want to see a warm embrace, bro. I'm sure they love each other. I mean, Wemby said he's inspired by Giannis, right? It's one of his favorite players. It's beautiful, man. This is going to be a rivalry that's going to be fun to watch. This dude, Giannis, had 44 points, led the game in points. This is beautiful. And this dude, Shaq, has the audacity to put Bol in Wemby talks. This man, Wemby, held his own against Giannis, man. I'm so fucking proud, man. And shout out Will Trill, who's at the game in person, bro. Got to see the best game of the season in person. That's just beautiful. Poetry in motion, bro.
Somebody I grew up watching and one of the greatest players in the world, so it's always extra motivation and I know, you know, I'm a competitor, so I want to go at everyone and be the bad guy on the court, you know. So
one of the few bright spots in this godforsaken league, man. He's gonna save this league, mark my words. But I know most of y'all aren't ready for that conversation yet, so let's just talk about the things that Wemby, you know, should do according to some people. Apparently, he has to be more selfish, slightly. This article obviously talking about Wemby's, you know, love of passing. He loves passing the ball out there. He playmakes a lot more than people would think. And basically saying as Wembanyama is on a minutes restriction, he's played like a man on a mission. He knows he has between 24 to 26 minutes to play and looks determined to make the most of it. But obviously, he still wants Wemby to play even harder for himself instead of, you know, dishing out the teammates that are not quite so good. It almost seemed like Wemby read the article and decided to be even less selfish. I mean, he dunked this ball. This dude is just towering over every defender. But what was impressive here in this game was Wemby's playmaking. What a pass. As a matter of fact, Wemby actually recorded his first career triple-double in this game. And you know what? He did it in less than 21 minutes of play. By the way, the only player that recorded a triple-double in fewer minutes than Wembanyama all time is Russell Westbrook. And he's the 5th youngest player now to record a triple-double at the age that he did. And not just that, at 20 years old and 6 days, he recorded a triple-double younger than anybody in Spurs franchise history. Not to mention, he became the youngest center to ever record a triple-double. But people, rightfully so, were frustrated at Wemby's teammates for not doing the same to him, right? Passing the ball is not something some of these guys are good at. And even worse, they can't even see him on an open lob sometimes.
Ooh, they missed a lot of Wemby. They were looking for Wembanyama on the cut. They cut off Sohan, who misses.
Motherfucker saw DeRozan defending him and decided to turn into the Value Village version. Sorry, let me make this American. Turn into a thrift store version of DeMar DeRozan. This is disgusting. This is absolutely atrocious. This would happen again where he was open for a lob and nobody saw him. And worse yet, the guy with the ball is in the dunker spot, bro. This is disgusting. Now, do you expect Wemby to throw his teammates on the bus and say that, oh, you should pass me the ball more? Of course not. This is a guy that was quoted saying, I like to be coached and sent to the G League if I don't play the right way. This guy Wemby is too nice, bro. He's too humble. And back to those people that criticize Wemby's teammates for not passing him the ball during lobs, right? It was interesting to see Trae Young.
I mean, on offense, they use him a lot better in that second half, throwing it up to him. Sometimes you feel for him. He has some open looks. Sometimes they don't get it to him, and they were getting it to him in that second half on those lobs and just throwing it up to him. And we had.
Yeah, Trae Young is funny, man. Even he had to say, bro, yo, Wemby, man, you got to feel for that guy. Well, you shouldn't feel that bad, right? Wemby himself even said, of course, I've heard it, right, regarding the criticisms of his team is not passing him the ball, but it's never even been close to reality, right? You thought this guy would throw his teammates under the bus? No freaking way, bro. He said, there's nobody on this team that doesn't want to pass me the ball, and there's nobody that I don't want to pass the ball to. Yo, 1,000 plus teammate chemistry, bro. This guy, Wemby, is the perfect my player, man. He's just beautiful.
Sohan with 23 leads the Spurs. 33 for Young. Turnover right there. Sohan goes by Young. Wembanyama. Hill. Sohan, Wembanyama. Go again.
And Keldon Johnson.
Look at this. Sohan, Wembanyama.
Wemby's just an absurd player, and even Embiid thinks so too.
So he goes up to Victor Wembanyama, sizes him up, and he's already thinking.
Dude even has to make a little prayer, right, before the game. Oh, boy. And Wemby, look, I'll say this, man. He had a great game himself, but it was the Embiid show for the most part, bro. Victor had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks in this game. You know, great numbers. And this is one of the best rim protectors in the league, and Wemby just makes him look so small, man. But Embiid, it was on offense where he just masterfully just destroyed this team, the San Antonio team, and scored 70 points. 70 points. That's just ridiculous.
Goes quick against Holmgren and slammed it home.
Said his rivalry week, Jonesy.
Oh, and that's going to be an offensive foul against Holmgren, who might have had payback on his mind a little bit.
That's what I'm talking about, Wemby. Get your get back. I know you're losing by a lot, but still, you're the better rookie. You're the way better rookie. Don't let those haters doubt you. Don't let those haters make you discouraged.
And the second youngest team in the league, the Thunder. Oh, Wemby!
This dude almost got sent to a different dimension. My goodness. In the game where Wemby outplayed Chet, you'll have folks like Richard Jefferson probably tell you, well, look, it's because Wemby was able to make more mistakes. Look, he got more accustomed to the game because the coach wasn't pulling him out the game, even though Wemby's playing on the minutes restriction right now. Right, but RJ's not gonna tell you that part. By the way, like, I want to go more into this shit, but I gotta keep the video moving. But I don't want to bore you guys to death. But I also don't want to annoy you guys by just talking on the tangent for like 2 hours.
He's the one. He hit the big shot when he played for the Sixers that knocked us out of the play-in game, right?
Yep. Oh, Wemby!
Let me know when Chet Holmgren does a sham god. Let me know, please. Just let me know.
When did you know that this was called the sham god? Because what you did to Rudy Gobert was phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, in Europe we usually call it the body roga more, but I knew it was a shame god.
For all you history buffs in the NBA that don't know about Dan Bodiroga, y'all are about to cream your pants looking into this stuff, bro. Sham God may have popularized the move in the US, right? But earlier, it was Dan Bodiroga that made the move more popular in Europe. Here's him doing the move on the RJ Richard Jefferson, yes. The guy who espouses brain dead takes now on ESPN, yes. I'll post a video from Basket News that you guys can watch. Link in the description. It's a great watch. There was this cool collab that the NHL did, right, with the NBA. Victor Wembanyama, #1 pick, with another high lottery pick, #1 pick, Connor Bedard, who is now obviously member of the Chicago Blackhawks, a rebuilding franchise, just like the Spurs are, as the case for the NHL. It's an interesting league. I won't say much else about this league because I live in Ottawa, and if y'all know about the team here, it's pretty bad. It's abysmal. Yuck.
Some Bobo. Look at that. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny.
Look, man, you better quit disrespecting Victor Wembanyama.
Disrespecting, I'm saying Bobo was the first. Yeah, boy.
This has to be a bit at this point, bro. Shaq gotta be doing this just for clout, man. I don't even think he thinks this is real. I think he's just doing this to troll. and to get people mad, like me.
Wait, you think Bobo good as Wembanyama?
Yep, I do. He exploded for 6 tonight on 5 shooting.
I fucking love this guy, Ernie, bro. Best host I've ever met. And Shaq, you're a dumbass. I guess Kyrie must have learned from the first time he played Wemby. Look at this technique here to try to get a shot up over him. Beautiful stuff, man. Oh my goodness.
He is starting to really separate himself in the Rookie of the Year race. And guys,
This man pulled up in my country looking like this, and you just knew he was on some demon timing. I wish I was there to watch this in person, but what a block here. And God bless Toronto, man. They tried their hardest, but Wemby was just better. Scotty's my guy, but come on, bro. What are you doing here? Get blocked twice! I don't know why, man, but the Raptors love testing Wemby at the rim, and he just blocks another one here, and oh boy, picks a rebound. This was the craziest one here. You think he's out of the play. He blocks that shot.
this is number 10 for him. Wemby's 10th block, which gives him a triple-double.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what the like, how do we even have a chance, bro? If this is what they do to us now, bro. Yo, Wemby's gonna just break this league apart. Canadian media made a whole big deal about Scotty Barnes leaving early in the same game. It's just so stupid. Okay, yeah, he left early, but bro, we got blown the fuck out. Speaking of which, we need better media people at TSN Sports, and I'm sorry, bro. We just need better media personnel as a general, bro. The Canadian media, bro, is in the gutter. Part of that is due to monopolization of a lot of the tech companies, telecommunication companies, whatever the fuck. I'm not here to talk about Canadian politics or whatever the fuck. Okay, I'm here to talk about basketball. That's what I really love here. And Scotty Barnes, you'll be back, bro. And you're gonna stomp Wemby like you did in November. Around mid-February, Wemby had a stretch of games that was, quite frankly, historical, unprecedented stuff, right? Along with the 10-block triple-double that you see on February 12th in my country, right? Wemby, you know, he also did something, recorded 5 blocks, 5 steals, not just one game, but 2 straight games on the road, by the way. All these games are road games, and Wembanyama also recording a 5x5 stat against the Lakers, which was obviously the second time a rookie had ever done it. Here are all the players all time that have recorded a 5x5 in their careers, respectively of how many times they've done it. This is just the people that have done it at least once. And here are the players that as a rookie have done it. Only other person to do it was Jamal Tinsley back when he was within the Pacers. Beautiful player, my favorite player to play with on 2K for I'll never forget these times. Also, the last time a player had back-to-back games with 5 blocks and 5 steals was when Michael Jordan did it in the 90s. And amongst players that have had a 10-block triple-double, right? Wemby being the 34th player in NBA history to do so. He joins an elite list of people. You have JaVale McGee right here. You have, let me see here, Hakeem Olajuwon, Mark Eaton. Oh, look at that, Andre Kirilenko. Oh, a lot of interesting players here. But Wemby's one of 4 players ever to do it as a rookie. I'm telling you, the historical precedence that Wemby is setting right now is quite stellar. And Wemby, he may have been snubbed from, potentially being an all-star in his rookie season, right? But that didn't mean he didn't get invited to Indiana, right? He had a great time. In fact, even getting interviewed by the TNT crew themselves, right? This is beautiful.
Sometimes, I remember maybe 2-3 months into the season, we were in film in front of everybody, and he goes like, this is what you were doing day one.
No, I hate this. Not the censored version.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
There it is, my glorious schnookums. Oh, beautiful, uncensored. Just like how I like it. By the way, around this point, Wemby's off-the-dribble three-point shooting was noteworthy enough that people started making a fuss about it in articles. Shooting 41.3% on pull-up three-pointers. This is unheard of. Of the 56 players that have taken the at least 100 off-the-dribble threes this season, he is 5th in three-point percentage, and I just clicked a link. How the hell did Mike Conley end up being on my screen? Oh, because apparently Mike Conley is top 4 or top 5 in off-the-dribble three-point percentage? Yo, this is crazy. I did not know this. By the way, a lot of the pictures I got from this video here is actually available on my second channel. Yeah, I talked about this back when, Wemby was doing this historic stuff. Go check it out.
Always something a little special about going against #1 picks. You, of course, have seen 20 of them since you were. What did you make of Vic tonight?
I said it from the beginning that he's special, you know, and he has an unbelievable coach that's going to make sure that he does things the right way, play the game the right way, and he's going to continue to develop. But
as I was researching for this video, I came across a clip of Wemby talking about his social media use, how obviously Popovich preaches about the dangers of, obsessing over social media. And Wemby had an interesting response to this question, right, when posed by the reporter.
Pop, along those lines, Pop talked last week or a couple of weeks ago about, trying to educate the players about the dangers of obsessing too much about social media. How do you handle that, comments that come out on Twitter and so forth?
I mean, I turn my phone off. Yes. It's not really something I have to handle anyway, I like, most of the time, those apps aren't even on my phone, I delete them for days, weeks, or months sometimes, and whenever I want to look something up, I download them again, check what my friends do, but it's not something I ever have to worry about.
It might be the old man in me, bro, but this is fucking amazing. And it's quite frankly scary because a lot of these NBA players, they're too obsessed with this Twitter stuff, with the Instagrams and stuff. Okay, I even sound old saying that shit, bro. Yo, but seriously though, like what Wemby is saying, he's 20 years old saying this, by the way. This dude is mature beyond his years. Not just that, he's disciplined enough to understand his limits, his boundaries. Bro, a guy like him, he's going to be scary for a long time, bro. God willing, he's healthy for it all. Oh, man.
To a certain fan base, I think our discussion came off a little flippant when we were talking about Wembanyama's Rookie of the Year. For all three of us, I would like to apologize for that.
It took them this long to see the light, man. It's beautiful to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something to tell you. The third edition of the Wemby-Chet rivalry. And it was a beautiful one for Wemby.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. Wemby rolls around and falls in on the... Wemby got the three ball.
Get something good out of it.
He fires. He scores! Back to Victor. Another three. Get out of here! Wembanyama. Holmgren trying to answer. He is stuffed.
You just saw a man get stuffed.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Victor Wembanyama, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks, and a win over Chet Holmgren.
Brunson 55. Does he have more?
Brunson jumper. It's good.
Brunson in this game had 61 points. And Wemby, well, let's just say he had a great game too.
Try to do here. If he can connect. He does. Wemby fires for three. Got it!
Wemby in this game had a career-high 40 points. And he managed to help the Spurs win this game in OT against a very good Knicks team.
These efforts, these results, we wouldn't have gotten them at the start of the year. And we wouldn't have gotten them with you guys. Because y'all are helping us, 70 games to the season. I still see this place packed every night. Love you guys. Love the support. Go Spurs, go.
Another plus 1,000 on the My Player career of Victor Wembanyama. This dude is just he's just a breath of fresh air, man. And when the game ended, Victor taking the game ball and throwing it to the crowd so that Jalen Brunson wouldn't be able to get it.
Really smart, just super high basketball IQ. Victor for three.
In this game, Wemby did something that I think actually altered the state of the NBA history. Okay, Michael Porter Jr. misses a free here. Oh, 12 back. But Wemby, he'd go on a rampage in this third quarter.
Yeah, and you do a nice job. Oh, wow. Down backwards, but you're going toward the rim and you're just casually tipping it in. Just don't see that a lot. Oh, not you know. Go ahead. Get out of here. Stop it.
This man was on the heater, scoring 17 straight points by himself in the third quarter. This game was pivotal for the playoff picture, as if the Denver Nuggets had won that game, they'd clinched the first seed. But unfortunately, they lost this game, and they are now a second seed in this playoff format, meaning that they faced Minnesota, in which they lost to in the second round. Had they been the first seed, they would have faced Minnesota likely in the conference finals. And what do you know? This changed slightly, altered the history of the NBA, man. This one game against the Spurs, Wembanyama. Wemby, since the All-Star break, averaging over 23 points per game and almost 5 blocks a game, over 5 assists a game, 12 rebounds, shooting better from the three-point line he did earlier in the season. This guy attempting 7 threes, by the way, he's just going to get better and better and better, and he's still shooting over 40% from those off-the-dribble pull-up three-pointers. Wemby also becoming the latest player to average 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in a 7-game span. And they got the folks on ESPN asking, how quickly should they build around Wemby?
The San Antonio Spurs team has not been good this season, Woj. So what does the outlook look like for the Spurs as they're trying to sort of put a support system around Victor here?
The Spurs can't treat this like a long-term rebuild. They can't, you hear in these organizations, we can't skip steps. They've got to move quickly in putting a real team around him.
And you had many people criticizing this, saying, oh, they're already talking about Wemby potentially leaving after a year run. Like, you gotta stop. I sort of get where they're coming from, right? In the sense that he's so good already. I mean, you sort of have to be at his pace, and it seems like he's going to improve his game so much more than he is already. He had an amazing February, right? Did so much. He recorded more blocks during this month than 7 NBA teams.
Again, Lefko brought up that you brought out the sham god. Can you do the Crawford double behind the back shake and bake? Can you do that move in the game? If you do, no hesitation.
Coach I had in France, his name is Kareem, that taught me the sham god, for example. He also taught me the double behind the back shake and bake. So this is something I work on. So
Wemby, if you pull that out,
will you be first on cross-up?
I may have to show you the extended version. I've never shown anybody, but I'm gonna hand that gift to you because you can do it, and you will.
And Wemby, he's building this relationship up with Jamal Crawford to where recently he was seen working out with Jamal Crawford, bro. This shit is annoying, bro. He's about to get even better. He was even showing moves to Wemby during the All-Star game. I mean, he wasn't an All-Star, but you know what I mean, All-Star weekend.
I went ahead and did what so many were afraid to do. Vote Victor Wembanyama my Defensive Player of the Year.
Now, Victor, he obviously won the Rookie of the Year award that so many have won before him. But what was a full circle moment for him was competing against fellow Frenchman Rudy Gobert for that Defensive Player of the Year award in his rookie season. Here is a little comparison of both their numbers throughout the season. I know defense cannot fully be measured by these numbers. I get it. But this is like the best way you can measure some of the aspects, right? A lot of blocks per game, still per game stats. Not the end all be all by any means. But Victor obviously dwarfs Gobert in those stats. As a matter of fact, let's actually look into those stats, okay? Because those two are not like any other, okay? Gobert, premier defensive big. The big reason why he's considered for the award is because his team is number 1 in defensive rating. And obviously, you look at these stats, way more steals and blocks going to Wemby, a guy who was in his rookie season, okay? It's actually so big, the gap between Gobert and Wemby in terms of blocks per game, that if you look at the amount of games that's been played, 69 games for Wemby, when he recorded 245 blocks. He played just over 2,000 minutes, right? Rudy Gobert in his last 2 seasons, playing over 4,500 minutes and over 141 games. 245 blocks recorded in those last 2 seasons combined. But of course, the Spurs are 21st in defensive rating, and Gobert's Timberwolves are number 1 in defensive rating, primarily because of how great of a defender he is. Bam Adebayo was also considered for the award, but he was a distant third to Rudy and Wemby. But unfortunately for Victor, Rudy Gobert would win the award for the 4th time in his career, and I personally think Rudy deserves it, but obviously there are a lot of people that would say otherwise, right?
Wemby should be the Defensive Player of the Year. because he is that amazing defensively. But they just suck.
But again, Draymond's probably saying stuff like this, you know, Wemby defensive. That's probably just to disrespect Gobert, as he has in the past, right? And by the way, it's not just Draymond that disrespected. A lot of people have been disrespecting this guy, Rudy Gobert. And if you guys want to check it out, I know some of you may be new to the channel. There's this video right here on the right side of the screen. It's going to talk about all of the reasons why and all the times that people have disrespected Rudy Gobert. Yes, they've disrespected him, and find out why in this video. It's a pretty in-depth deep dive. I hope you guys like it. And I hope you guys like this video today with Victor Wembanyama, the full experience. That is it. Peace out.